When I hear the words pre-Katrina New Orleans, I'm instantly brought back to Sunday school. My grandmother's her little bird, little blue car that she used to pick us up with and go to McDonald's.
You know, there was so much uncertainty at that moment, and I certainly thought that I would not be back in New Orleans.
Once Katrina happened, it broke our spirit.
Being a Katrina baby to me means that I don't hold on to things.
Pre-Katrina New Orleans was another kind of New Orleans.
My name is Ha Sizzle Matthews, and the world knows me as the King of Bounce. Some people know me as Mr. Urban Scat, something I created. And some people know me as Black. Yep, just that nickname, Black. I think about pre-Katrina as all the guys dancing and not sitting around with the whole masculinity on each shoulder and they want to kill and hurt somebody. Once Katrina happened, it broke our spirit. I was one of them guys. I stopped dancing. Us, our men, we should have never let that break our spirit. People just didn't understand our culture.
I am Tarriona Tank Ball, lead singer of Tank and the Bangers, daughter of Michelle and Terry, Tank to all my family, and now to all my fans. I am a Emmy-nominated, recently first-time Grammy-winning artist, author, and voiceover actor. If I could think about any of my art that talks about a time before pre-Katrina that celebrates it, it probably would be To Be Real. Even though I made To Be Real afterwards, but even the way I started off, it was a late Sunday when the drama went down. I'm going straight back to the Ghetto Twins. I literally asked the permission. I was like, can I do that? It makes me think about, you know, how it was before the storm, and I think about how life was before the storm. Sometimes it even makes me emotional because I think that things will never be the same. It's just like how unfair that is for us. Yeah.
I am Sunni Patterson. I am a poet and author and teacher and mama and magician and, you know, cooker-upper. A bunch of things. So I don't, you know, there's no one way I think to answer that. Pre-Katrina New Orleans was another kind of New Orleans. I'm still reminded of Black-owned stores on just about every corner where I lived. It wasn't until after Katrina that I was allowed, and I'm saying allowed because growing up, how, you know, I grew up, it was one of those, no, you got all these Black-owned stores around here, you're not going to this store on, you know, over in this area. I won't name the store, but you're not going over here, right? This kind of thing. So that's something too, because now, as I think about it, where is the Black store? Where is the corner store? We have other terms now, food deserts. We have that's not something that we had. Even if you didn't have a store, you had a neighbor. You had a cousin around the corner. You had so it's these kind of things that come up.
My name is Pell. I am an artist, playwright, musician, producer. Pre-Katrina also is the snowballs right next to Brother Martin on Elysian, that McDonald's that's no longer there right across the street. My world was so small at that time, and I feel like a lot of people from New Orleans, you know, Katrina did something for us in a way where we all were able to explore outside of New Orleans.
I'm PJ Morton. I'm a New Orleans boy, but I'm singer, songwriter, musician, producer, all things music. Yeah, it was interesting because when Katrina happened, I was commuting back and forth. I was living in Atlanta. I had finished Morehouse not long before then, and so my father wanted me to come back to New Orleans to help with the church, be the music director. But I didn't want to give up my life in Atlanta that I was building as a producer and a writer with Jermaine Dupri and all this stuff. So I was like, Dad, I'll fly every Saturday, and I flew back to Atlanta every Tuesday. And so I was living this life and building this career, but also being connected to my roots, and had no idea that it would just abruptly stop.
Originally coming back to New Orleans was a complete shock to me, and coming back to our house, because you see everything rotting and you see your memories like fading in front of your eyes. It's not a metaphor. It's, I rap for a living and I have metaphors and similes for days, but this was my reality to see certain things literally getting washed away in front of me as a kid. And that was the first time I felt awake and kind of present in what my life was like then and what it would be like, moving forward.
We're here, right at the corner of Durgemoor and Feliciana. The house that my great-grandfather built was here on this lot. The house that we lived in, that I grew up in, is here on this lot. After Katrina, when we came back, the sweet shop that was here, a small wooden structure, was about 2 blocks down. The water pushed it, but then the sea, you're seeing things like your pictures all over your, the house is here, you're seeing your baby pictures and over in other areas, sofas and other areas. You're seeing, half a house and a whole nother area,
Being a Katrina baby to me means that I don't hold on to things like worldly possessions or like material things that much. I'm quick to move on in a way because I think as a kid I learned how quickly that those things that you cherish that are material can vanish like that. And I'm talking about memories that come with that as well, not just my PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about photos, like, recipes, things that we can't get back, things that aren't, you can't just put in a 3D printer, you know what I'm saying?
I always think about Katrina almost in reference to myself, almost like a cursed blessing. Cursed because, look what happened to our city and the fact that things will never be the same and homes were lost and lives too and businesses, everything. And then I think about the way I had to move all the way to Indianapolis and the way my whole life had to change. The way I had to put my personality on my sleeve because I wanted friends, I didn't have any. The way that I was able to develop my own personal style because I had no more clothes and I had to find myself in clothes and become a part of a new type of choir, We used to, in New Orleans, the way we do choir, but it's very different out there. And I just had to become myself.
I smile sometimes when I see my people in other cities thriving because they took that same thing that we have that makes us unique and special and changed their city where they are. The good that it did was force people to think differently and think outside the box without losing that New Orleans spirit. So for me, when I think post-Katrina, I think possibilities, I think potential. Pre-Katrina, I was figuring it out. Post-Katrina, I'm a leader in the city and trying to guide certain things, and it makes me hopeful. I feel like this is my birthright. You know what I'm saying? Being here, and I feel like it's my job to continue to show the world how special this little island is. Of New Orleans.
Every time we have had a heartbreaking moment in this city, I did my part by uplifting. Over these 20 years, Ha Sizzle has always released a song in tragic times. I don't know how to do nothing else but uplift. New Orleans, the spirits in New Orleans. What I do when people see me get in my zone and if you see me close my eyes and I start to rap, it's a spirit. And it's a spirit of dance. It's the spirit of joy. It's the spirit of love. It's my ancestors. It's our ancestors.
In these last 20 summers, my music has been a source of inspiration, heartache, therapy, and overall joy for me. And the way that I use my music today and have these past 20 summers is by, you know, respecting the past, but always painting a brighter future for myself.
I love the way my art literally unconsciously talks about New Orleans and talks about Black people. It's just so natural for me to write, and these love letters just come to mind, and of even how I feel, like my latest poem that I did with Robert Glasper, of how sometimes I don't feel very New Orleans simply because I don't know my way around there well, or because I'm directionally challenged, or because I don't do the typical things that an Orleanian may do. And it's always made me question, like, damn, I'm so out of touch with certain things. I really am. But I love the way my art talks about that and kind of celebrates it, and people walk up to me and they say, am I still New Orleans? They read the words back to me, and I know that I'm not alone in feeling, you know, so literally in the culture. But like, I don't know, it's like I helped create it as well, but I don't know, like, it's not like I've sewn an Indian suit together, you know? I've never been in Zulu, you know, things like that.
20 summers into the future, it will still be remembrance. So remembrance, but you know, remembrance from away, not where we are remembering a time and longing to go back, but remembering back again to how we are putting ourselves together. The prayer is that we have gathered our hearts, we've gathered our spirits, we've gathered ourselves, so that we're able to stand in the future and say, my, look at what my ancestors have done. My, look at what I have done. My, look at what we have accomplished. My, look at, you know, and still be here and be grateful and be present and look around and say, wow, look at the world that we've created.
My hope for the city now, having been here 10 of the 20 years from now, I just want to continue. You know, I love how we protect ourselves, how we protect our legacy. And I just want to continue to see a healthy balance of protecting that, because that's the sauce, you know, like that's the special sauce, but also to continue to see, because of what I love now is to see the people I grew up with or have been successful in other places come back and bring that mindset back, bring what they've learned out there back, but understanding and respecting what it is already. So I just want to see that history intact, but us continue to grow.
For this particular neighborhood in New Orleans post-Katrina, I am just hoping that more people come into the neighborhood and build it up, which they already have, but more children. It needs more children here. I could just feel that. And because the houses are so beautiful and the East is so wonderful, so I just want to see more children come back and make the neighborhood feel alive. As far as my city, I want to see rebuilding all around, and I want to see more natives come back. And I want to see the people that come to live here and lay new roots, that they add to the city and don't just live here. In my part of the town, I want to see a shopping mall, you know. I want to see stores come back and a place to go to the movies with my cousins. I want, you know, 20 years from now not to be talking like the storm hit it last week. I would love to see growth in the city of New Orleans in so many ways.